Hi everyone, I'm Eddie Pfeifer. Thank you so much for checking out my buyer's cheat sheet video series. Today we're going to cover probably the most important part of this cheat sheet, and that is how to find a great agent. Now, a great agent can really make or break a transaction. You can find a better house as a result of the agent. You can save a lot more money as a result of a great agent. So today we're going to cover how to go about finding and interviewing a good agent. So what you're going to want to do is, when you find an agent you think is a good prospect as your next excellent agent, you're going to want to ask them some questions. You're going to want to see their list of past clients with the contact information, and you're also going to want to ask those people 3 solid questions. The questions are, what did you like most about working with Eddie, for example? Let's just give the agent name Eddie. What could Eddie have done better? And the most important one probably of the 3 is, would you use Eddie again? Now I'm going to go over the qualities of a good agent now. So these are response time. How long do they take to get back to you? You call them at 9 in the morning. Do you have to wait until 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock even to get a response? Are they pretty quick on email? Follow-up. It's kind of the same sort of issue. But with other people, if you think about it. Because if you submit an offer and they don't hear back, do they just wait a day, wait 2 days to get back on top of things? You don't want an agent that takes so long to follow up. Market knowledge, very, very important. If you describe a certain criteria for a neighborhood that you'd be interested in, you want that agent to place you in the right spot. You want the agent to be aware of all the possible options, because you may think you like a certain neighborhood, and what you really like are the qualities for the neighborhood, and the agent can take those qualities that you've given him or her and put you in even a better spot in that same town. Another thing that's important is aggression, and that goes into effect with a negotiation aspect of it, which is very, very important, as you might imagine. Are they passive agents? Do they just kind of soft sell the whole time? And a good way to gauge how aggressive the agent is how aggressive they are with you. Now, of course, there is such a thing as being too aggressive, and that can work against your negotiation aspect. But you definitely don't want a lollygagger, someone who does not push for your best interest. The last thing I'm going to cover on this is experience. Did the agent just get their license a couple days ago? How many transactions have they done? How long is their list of past clients? Okay, so at this point in time, you've spoken to an agent, you've gauged their strengths as it pertains to the 5 things we talked about. That's response time, follow-up, market knowledge, aggression as it relates to their negotiation, and experience. One way to gauge the aggression, because it is one of the most important aspects, is asking them this question. What would you recommend we offer on property X? So what you do is you go on Trulia, you go on Realtor.com, or you can go on Zillow, whatever you choose. Find a property, whether it's one you're going to pursue or not. And let's say it's priced at $500,000. Say, what would you recommend we offer on property X? And then have them go through all this explanation. You can do it via email, you can do it by phone. And then the really important question, the follow-up, is why? A good agent will look at comps. They'll look at how much is owed on the property. They'll look at if the property is vacant, because you can typically get away with offering lower on vacant properties because, as you might imagine, the seller of the property is carrying 2 mortgages. The one they're in now, or maybe rent, and the one they're trying to get rid of. So that's something to think about. Another aspect of it is you want to make sure the agent is working for you. You want to discuss the most important expectations you have for a real estate transaction with the agent, and you're not going to want to say, are you hardworking? And the agent's going to go, yes, I am. You're not going to want to do a little repartee like that. You're going to want to get into it and do it open-ended and say, what do you think you provide to your clients of service? Why do you think your clients keep coming back to you year after year? And you also want to say things like, I value this in an agent. How have you provided this to your past clients? You're going to want to ensure that your agent has your best interests in mind. This is a little bit tricky. You're not going to be able to do this with just some questions. So you're going to want to gauge this as you go along, and as you have more and more time with this agent, you're also going to be in more scenarios, and there's going to be more variables come into play, and you'll really see where your agent's loyalty stands. This one's really important. You want to ensure your agent is a full-time agent. There is so much that can go wrong, and there's so many spots where you can save a lot of money and eventually make a lot of money in the resale. And there's just so much at stake with any property purchase, whether it's a personal residence or an investment property. There's no room for the amateurs in the real estate sales, in my opinion. This is my opinion, of course. You don't want a soccer mom to do that, only does it part-time, maybe on the weekends. If they're not in the trenches every workday, they don't belong as your agents. They just don't belong. There's too much at stake, and you don't want to risk it. You don't want somebody who does surgery for fun to give you a bypass, for example. Obviously to a lesser scale, as death usually is not involved in real estate sales. A lot of times a client will come up to me and say, hey, I have a friend in the business. I would love to use you, but I have a friend in the business. And what I like to tell them is, listen, I understand you have a friend in the business. I understand they're trying to make money, and I know they're probably doing it part-time, and they're more than likely not nearly as serious as I am and as passionate as I am about selling real estate. So what I can do for you is we can discuss doing a referral fee to your friend, to your acquaintance, to your coworker. That way, your friend, your acquaintance, your coworker, they know that you haven't forgotten about them. They get a piece of the action, and they don't have to do any work. So it really is a win-win-win for everybody involved.